Hey guys, my name is Steniak and welcome back to another episode of our isolated city here in City Skylines, where today we are going to be putting a prison on an island. Yes, we created our very own version of ALCATRAZ, as well as doing a few little tweaks here and there throughout our city. Now, if you do enjoy this episode and the series and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when the next episode does come out. But we are back, boys. This is the beautiful isolated city in the middle of the ocean, and we've got quite a big population because we started to grow in the last episode to provide as many workers as we could. I kind of went counterintuitive and I put down some services building and created more jobs, but we're doing pretty well. We're down to 5% unemployed. We've managed to kind of grow the more people employed right now, up to 111,000 people currently living on the island. Now, there's a few things I want to do today. I want to build the other eye, which into the face that we have. A prison island where we can put all of our bad peeps, create our very own version of Alcatraz, and then the rich kind of tourists can overlook them with pity and what's the word? Pity and self-house, distraught, disgust, maybe. Who knows? It depends on what their views are. But I want to change some things up now. I know we've been having a lot of issues with the imports and exports, and I want to try something. Because this is the first kind of import-export area that I put on the outer side of the island for shipping. I know I do have this really long kind of train track to get to the main line, and the reason I did that was because I wanted to nerf this area slightly, because I thought it was going to be like overwhelming. It turns out it's not really used that much. So I'm going to readjust this and do the V this side and have this come down and go in. So we're going to shorten the distance to the cargo area here, and I want to see how much of a difference that actually is going to make. Then we'll reconfigure this area after we've built our prison section. So when it comes to it, the in and out route for the boats right now is just here. So it's like really weird why I don't use this one. But it's got to be, right, the sheer length they've got to get to the main line before they go any direction they want to go in. So we're going to shorten that down right now. So if I just quickly pause the game, because I'm going to cause a lot of destruction. Now, I might do something different where we can utilize both sides, but for now we're going to keep it nice and simple. And we'll go tunnel, we'll go down by the minus 15 that I seem to always be going down by. And we'll put it on this side. And what we're saying, we go to about there. Is that enough for a 21? 21. You know what, we'll go to 20. I'm not going to argue on that 20 there. I'm not going to argue on it. I'm going to bring this in and bring this in. Bend that and bend this for a smoother transition. And now we're going to be connected. So obviously, we're going to need to connect it. Now, I'm going to get rid of this. I don't know whether to kind of just disconnect those for now until we sort this out. So what I could do is I could do a standard 10 by 10. We could bring this down to almost down to there. So if I brought that to there, what does this bend entail? 11 by 8? Do you know what? We'll go with it just for the sake of it. So what I could do then is just set up a little bit of a V here to connect into these stations, and I don't know how I do this because I'll have to reconfigure it all, but I can make things a lot more simplified. But let's just see how much this changes just this harbour here. I know all the traffic around these right now would actually go down. Actually, do you know what? Let me set this all up as one, because I know that I'm going to get like a misjudgment and we're going to be completely overwhelmed because all the other stations are going to now use this one. So a 21, a 21. So this is something we should have, well, I say it's something that we should have done before, but I was really concerned about the overwhelming usage of this if it turned out to be like another airport style, because that was the outer ring. But it turned out it wasn't that bad, so I feel like we can kind of get away with it for the most part. So the station is just here for this turn, so if I delete just there, I'm going to delete all this underground jibber jabber right now. It was literally for me to nerf the area, and I nerfed it not knowing that it wasn't going to be... I probably nerfed it too much. That's probably what I did. Delete you. Gotta be careful, don't delete the trains. The actual passenger trains. Well, metro it actually is. So get rid of this one right now. Oh, that's a what is that one there? Is that one that goes above ground or something? Because I can't seem to delete it. There we go. So the options is to keep this running. So if I bring that to there, and then get a 21 by 21 bench straight into it. That works. Believe it or not. And obviously then we kind of stuck with this one over here. Right? So what are the options we've got for that? Well, the obvious one would be, rather than turn it into a bend, make this go completely straight. And then we do a V into this. But that's a little bit too close for comfort, so we'll kind of see right now. So if I deleted you, tunnel mode, delete, delete. I've kind of got to move this over to this side. We'll just go there. Reason for it is, I do the tunnel this way to go straight along. See? Just little tweaks here and there, guys. Just little tweaks here and there. Right, I want to get this done as quick as possible because I want to build my prison island. I'm really excited to build my very own version of Alcatraz. Right, we'll come back and adjust the actual train, the tunnel itself. But if I go straight down to here, so it's still shorter to go to the harbour, which works out very well. And if I delete this, I don't know if it's a good idea to kind of V it straight to there. It's a 27. Because I don't want that awkward. Because if I did like that, the 21, you have that awkward little stretch, don't you? You do have that awkward little stretch. So I could definitely attempt something here. That's a 22. Right, we'll get away with that. I'll do a 22 there. Because if I bring this in a little bit closer, I'm going to be shortening the train line itself anyway. So if I bend you like that. So by having it on the same connection, then you won't have those issues. Plus, also, these guys can then go straight down here to get to the harbour. But it does mean I'm going to have to kind of slightly configure this. I'm just going to make it go underground. Why am I in bulldoze mode? What's going on here? I just want to make it go underground a little bit earlier. So I can delete this section. And then do that. There is a little node there. So I can bend you this way to bend you that way. So there's a slight little wiggle and no one needs to know. No one needs to know, boys. No one needs to know. So bring that down. Right, good stuff. And let's do the same to this one. So select you. Well, first push you this way. And then bring you up so it doesn't look so ridiculous. Actually, I can move it down a bit. To there. So that's a whole reconfiguration I've done right there. A whole reconfiguration in the hopes and dreams that I've now unnerved the area. Right? And I don't know how I feel about this, though. I'm hoping it's enough where the trains don't cause jams. If they do, I'll then redo it. But it was just a simple way to kind of filter them all into one system and still be able to kind of go from this station over here down to the harbour by just kind of going through there. We'll see. If it becomes overwhelmed, I'll change it again. But this is just to see if I can actually make this a little bit more used than it actually is. Right, it'll take time to see them changes, so we'll kind of come back to them. The prison island. Let's talk about this. So when it comes to the police department, we do have the ability to build a prison. A standard prison, which is going to be amazing. But I have to do the same kind of systems to how I kind of give access to these two islands for the service vehicles. And that comes in the shape of this underground tunnel. Now, it's annoying that I have to do this because the game won't allow me to build an isolated island with buildings on. It has to have some form of a connection to services. Not a problem. We've got this in the bag. So this is what we're going to make sure we do over here. So get rid of the tunnel for a minute. Go to the Royal Star Road and obviously make sure that we're no longer minus 15. Beautiful. And let's see. So if I ran a road across here and then go up by, I don't know how much to go up by, but if I place down my prison like this, Right, we'll have to terraform it slightly to make... Why is it all sinking down? What's going on? I wanted it to be king of the castle. King of the castle. There we go. Right, bring you up. Bring you up. I'm going to put all rocks around the edge as well. Make it, you know, feel quite vicious and fierce. We'll do a border road. Like that. And I'll delete the rest. So we've kind of got this square. Which looks nice. I might just slightly adjust the square. So just select all this. And get it more central to the island. That's about right. And we'll do a few little roads. I can do a couple of police stations. It makes, you know, no difference to us. Like security checkpoints. I could do a toll road. Ooh. Now that sounds interesting. They're quite long though, a toll road, isn't it? It is quite long. How about we rotate this? So if I rotated it to about there, push this going back. Well, like I said, we'll adjust everything in just a moment. Go back to about there. Place down a toll booth here. So it looks like a security checkpoint to get in to the prison. Now that, boys, that sounds interesting. Alright, bring that down to about there. Oh, this is good. I like this. And then obviously, with my... Well, it doesn't have to be a raw style road. It can be a highway style road. Just need a two-way road right now. If I bring this out and then bring it right down. So we got the tunnel. We'll just slightly terraform the island to kind of fit what I've now just built. Because that toll booth there is actually quite long. Now, let's kind of set that up with the island itself. So let's bulk this out slightly. There we go, there we go. It's going to be more of an oblong island. And we want the edges quite harsh for rocks and stuff like that. We don't want anybody really, in reality, escaping. So just smoothing the edges down a little bit. I'll play around with this tunnel right now so it's not so devastatingly deep. I think we might need to make the road a little bit longer. There we go, just to kind of pick up a node. There we go. And then just slightly raise it. And then we'll put like a tunnel over it, something like that. So it makes it feel like it's going into the deep depths. I like it. I like this quite a lot already. So, with the rocks then, I think the perfect rock for the entry here. So, although we are going to place quite a few around, if I did one like that, a couple of these like this, spin it right round. Because these have this like little overhang that we can utilize as it looks like it's going into a tunnel. Obviously, I got to wait for the water to disappear. And then you have the other rock that has the kind of hole in, as you can see. So if I span that right round and also drop that in, maybe get rid of a couple of these now because it looks a little bit silly. I mean, to be honest with you, I could have got rid of all the other ones. I could have just had this monstrosity. So it does look like they come out of the tunnel there of the rock. That's actually pretty cool, isn't it? I like that idea. I do like it. But I do like the idea of the overhangs as well. So maybe you could do a couple of overhangs on the edge here to kind of make like a slight little cliff edge. Look at them hanging over. It's quite scary. Alright, do a couple just here. Right, and then we'll do a couple over on this side as well. Now, I don't think we should make this a sandy island. So I'm going to get rid of the sand. Just on it itself, because I want it to feel... Right, I want it to feel like it's not a resort. It's not a tropical paradise. I mean, that would make it... I mean, it would be good for the prisoners, because I'll love it. But... It's not a tropical paradise. That's one thing we're trying to make sure that we are reinstating quite harshly. Gotta do a couple of rocks here and there right now. Especially some into the water, because I gotta make it like feel like it's an impossible, impenetrable island that no one can get in and out of. Yes. I like this. I'll give some different style rocks as well. There we go. Oh, this feels... it feels quite intimidating already, doesn't it? Right, let's get a couple of these bad boys here. So I like to kind of splash down a couple. I'm going quite harsh with the rocks. I gotta do a couple of different sizes and changes to make it feel a bit different. But we're going quite harsh. We're creating these long, windy edges. I like this. I like the awkwardness that it creates. It's pretty cool. I mean, you could also sink these into it as well. These little flat tops that add a little bit more detail. I could do another one, like literally throw it in the center just there. And then we place like a bunch of smaller rocks underneath it. Boulders. I kind of like that. It's weird to say, but I kind of do like it. Right, anyway, can we get some kind of more details right now? For the top bit, not too mental. There we go. Rocky, rocky, rocky. One rock. That's funny, isn't it? I could almost create like a rocked barrier wall. You don't want to do too much, obviously. And then trees. What type of trees do we place down on this island? I mean, it's not really that tropical right now. And I could do it as singular trees. Does this make it feel like... it's inescapable again? These larger style trees. Oh, that looks good. It makes the face look a little bit funky again. But I kind of like the idea behind it. Right, it needs water, it needs power. So, water-wise, let's connect it up. And it needs power. How did we do the power on the other islands? Ah, okay. We did like a little bit of a wind turbine. Right, okay. So we'll place you just there. But obviously we need that road connection as well. Now, I'll take it from this. Now, the difference is, right, to get to this area... what happened there? To get to this area, it's got to go through these roads, which already have the... what do you call it? What's it called? Right? The restrictions. That's what it's called. It already has the restrictions on. So even get to that road, the restrictions already kind of apply. So that's the only way you can get to this ALCATRAZ variation. I might have gone slightly over the top with the rocks, but I think it adds the detail. From a distance, you can't really see what's... ah, from a distance, it looks really good. What the tourists see. Rocks. It looks quite nice, as if you would want to go there. It's really weird to say that, isn't it? It's really weird to say that you would want to visit as like a little nature reserve. But I like the harsh edges where... I mean, I've got this flat section here where they could maybe make an escape. But the large cliff edges and rocks that, you know, you can't scale down because they're way too big. Some of them are half the size of the actual prison itself. Amazing. So this holds up to 500 crims, which is quite a lot. I don't know how many... Do we know how... oh, actually, we've got 336 detained criminals already. So we've just built the big boy prison, which hopefully they'll go to. We've got a crusty eye. This eye here's got conjunctivitis. Right, how is this doing anyway? Is this Is this doing any different for you? We can see a train coming in. A couple of trains come. Oh, we actually see 3 trains coming in out of here right now. There's actually a 4th train leaving that station. So they're all going down to, well, I say they're all going down to here. 1 went down here. We've got this 1 train coming into this area now. Where do you be going? Do you be going to the harbour? Oh, you can see the crisscrossing happening right now. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, it all works wonderfully. And where do you be going next, train? Oh, both to the harbour. And there's 1 coming out as well. So, okay, not bad. Not saying it's gonna. I mean, I'm not saying it's overwhelmed, but there seems to be a lot more traffic along the seafront in front of it. Is there another exit point here? It's right in the middle of 2 exit points to the region. So, how are they not overwhelming this? I mean, I suppose the airport's always going to be #1 in their hearts. But it's not bad. It ain't bad. We'll try and have I mean, it's been in normal play mode. We'll try and have a little bit of an extra fast forward. So, another ship coming in. I think this might be better than what I originally had. There's another train now exiting, which is coming to the harbour down here. So I like it. I mean, you got to think every time a train exits or cargo exits via a harbour, it's not using the airport, which is a big help for us. And for the first time in a long time, that ship is now actually turning away. Sometimes it didn't used to turn away. But the other side of this is the whole, shebang of this is isolated from everywhere else. Yay. But maybe we should take a look at trying to transform another place into an exit harbour. Now, we have this train station down here, which is great. But what if somehow I could transform this, because it's the opposite end of here, into an exit for ships? Would I be pushing too many boundaries? Because we got the inner side. Why not have an outer side? If I was to do that, though, right, I might literally break everything. But the connections would work. The connections are in place to do this. How would I implement that, though? Would I have to... I mean, I could pull it here. I could just build it here. And then make this swoop underground in. And I don't have to need these weird overpass situations anymore. It's one of those moments, isn't it? Because it would work here. I could keep that overpass, that swooping overpass in for vehicle traffic. So in reality, I could have it span round on there. But it does mean I've got to then do some terraforming. So... it's going to be quite a high drop as well. So let me kind of... I need a bigger brush size on that. So if I push this right back to here, enough to create said harbour. Let me pause it. It's quicker to do it in pause mode. There we go. And obviously it won't build until... we have water, but I'm going to need to do a shipping route to it. So if I just had this... that's a ferry route, Zeniac. Just to there, that should allow me to build it in. But obviously a shoreline is currently required. Oh, do I need to push it back a bit more, you reckon? I might need to push it back a bit more. Well, I push it to there. Is that enough? That is enough. Boom! Right, I'll make it look pretty. I'll eventually make it look pretty, but I just want to test this out. I won't delete this, right? This will be a little bit of a test run, okay? So, let me just unhook the road for it. What's going on? Why can't I now no longer delete? Alright, let me get that road back in. What style of road was that? Okay, it was not that road. What road is that? Oh, it's this style of road, isn't it? It's like a thicker, raw road. Yeah. So if I did that to there, right, and then where this goes underground, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete, keep the tunnel in, but delete a little bit further back. And then just connect that to there. So we kind of like disable that train station for now. Alright, bam. Let's just go by 10. Because I know it's not going to be perfect. Alright, bam. 2. Bam. Okay, this is definitely not going to be perfect. Right, it's going to have to go like that, unfortunately. But at least it'll work. And again, it's just a test to see. Because if this works, I'll get rid of this train station and have this as the end run. Because it does. I mean, it is a bit of a pointless station. And I say pointless, but it kind of serves these guys. But then to have the ability to add ships to it, so we can utilize the end run, and then they can take it away on a ship. That's the interesting part about all of this. So we'll see what happens. This is me transforming for more outer area connections. So these guys are desperate for the goods, the garbage collecting. I don't know when they're going to make their approach and their notice made. None of those vehicles want to go down there. Do you reckon it's a good idea to also get a connection over to this side? Make service vehicles easier, or that just cause too much traffic. I have a feeling it will just cause way too much traffic. I'm going to charge pennies as well. Oh, that's hilarious. Right, I just want to see what happens with this. It will be interesting. There's a train on the way. Where's it going, though, is the question. Oh, wait, is this one of those ones that are going to, like, now, yeah, delete themselves because they're originally going to this station? Oh, there's a train being created over here. And a ship! OMG. Right, we'll give it some time. We'll give it some time again. So boats are still coming here then. There's no issues over here, is there? No dramas. So if that was to work and that was the case, where else can I apply this where I can have a station and a shipping route all at the same time? Well, I could do the same for this one. It's close enough to the edge where I can maybe, you know, apply it there, for example, and bring it in. Just so you can get best of both worlds. Where else would work that we have cargo stations? Got one just there. Yeah. I don't know whether one would work here because we have two which are quite similar. Similar locations. Whether to move this one down here. Because there's no need to be two so close. And then one will be for shipping. That could work on there. Right, boats are coming in and out of there as well. We've got this beautiful little run. We might need to create a run coming out, depending on how busy this gets. Where do we have them here? We have that one over there, which obviously makes sense, but there's nothing stopping us bringing a run down. I could check it like this. We have that one over there. We don't really have one over here. And everything else is more centralized, so I think I've only got really room for one in the oil industry. But that would be interesting to see how that goes. Now, we've still got loads of flights. I think the most I've seen was like 150 odd. So I'm not saying it's going to die down any of the flights, but just to have the ability to bring ships in and out of here. Every time someone exits from here on a ship, they're not exiting from the airport, thus reducing the amount of planes leaving, which will then reduce the amount of planes coming in to leave, or being generated to leave, and backing up the ones coming in. Makes sense, right? Yeah? I mean, it's back up to 144, so you're never going to win. But we just need more like that to push us in the right direction. And I kind of still like the overpass. That's a really cool way to kind of bring vehicles down and vehicles out. And we never really seen them use it before, but, you know, technically now we are. Very good. Very good. So, we'll just see how this goes. This is, like I said, it's a test run. I can probably, if it doesn't get overloaded, I can see this staying. I can delete this. and then just change it all up slightly, have a better approach with the gradients, and build some more industries down here. Might even just kind of build or maneuver all the warehouses to over this area. But another ship coming in. I know this looks really quite funky, but we'll go with it. So, oh, there's 2 ships. Will this be a 3rd ship turning in? No. Will this be the 3rd ship? No. Okay, so a couple of ships coming in. That's not bad. Less. I mean, it does take away from the inners, but we can use the inners to transport to other inners and vice versa. So, it works out in the end, I suppose, guys. This is making even more flights than ever. You just can't win. You're never gonna win, Zodiac. You're never gonna win. But the shorter we can make the distances, the quicker more boats will keep coming in. And hopefully that will feed our industries. So, we still had no one come over here right now. Is it down to the fact we have the toll booth? It can't be that reason. What is going on right now? Why are we still waiting? Why are we waiting for a vehicle? You are connected. So, stop lying. Maybe because it's just so far, right? It's taking a while for these vehicles to get to us. But we have ALCATRAZ. I mean, we have ALCATRAZ. It's quite cool to say that, isn't it? We have ALCATRAZ. And I think we'll end it for here then. So, only time will tell if these improvements for the cargo lines will work out. If they do work out and they're, you know, manageable, I'll apply more to the outer edges of the island as well to kind of reduce the amount of cargo coming in and out to the inner and shortening the distances as well. So they will all be bonuses, they will all be beneficial. We could do one down here as well, which we can utilize, and then try and figure out some other areas which we can kind of squeeze them in. Because road and rail from out of the region are not really an option unless they created a small island that allowed us to bring it all in. But that is a discussion for another time. Guys, we're going to end it here. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, smash that like button down below. Turn next time. See you soon.